Welcome in, chat. How's it going on this fine Saturday? I had to think about that for a second. That's bad. But you know what else is bad? Thinking about the video that we're gonna watch today. It's a doozy. I've watched I want to say maybe 5 minutes. Maybe 5 minutes of it. Maybe up to like 8 minutes. You know what? We'll give it grace. We'll say 8 minutes. Whew. Don't worry. If you can't watch it now, it'll be on demand. Somewhere. Anywhere. Don't let me stall this any longer. Let's get right into this great video. This video, dearest chat members, we're streaming probably just on YouTube because, well, I don't know. Maybe we'll try it. We'll try it. We'll figure it out. This video is looking for symbolism where we cannot find it any further. This is the video that I saw 8 minutes of, and you'll see why at the 8-minute mark, why I stopped watching it. And it's right here, astute viewer. So without further ado, here's this wonderful video about Evangelion. It's called Stop Trying to Be Evangelion, an open letter to mangaka. Because as we all know, they're going to watch this guy's video, or their video, or whatever they go by. I don't know. But we're going to watch it right now. It's all stylized. By the way, I'll get into a little rant at 8 minutes. You'll see why. Why this is irritating.
May I have your
Also, this is going to be like really annoying, so I'm going to... You know what? I'll let you listen to it. I'll let you listen to this cringe.
attention, please? May I have your attention, please? Can the real Hideaki Anno please stand up? I repeat, can the real Hideaki Anno please stand up?
By the way, this whole thing right here. Sorry, you might have heard double audio. This whole thing is a setup. As you can tell, these are all different mangaka. This is our titular character of the video, and we get to experience life through their eyes.
This is gonna take a while, isn't it?
Manga and anime creators are at the whims of their own audiences.
They're not. Okay. I know this, I said like 8 minutes in, but here's where I'm gonna like have to spoil this for you. They're not at the whims of their own audience. They're at the whims of the general audience. People that watch these types of media, they expect something from it. Good writing, good characters. I don't know why you'd be looking for that in shonen, especially since we just showed Jujutsu Kaisen. But regardless, this is where we are. Talking about things that don't make sense. And don't worry, I've looked at this a little while ago, and I'm going to pull up my notes. I did write notes for this. I don't know if I kept them or not.
Well, except for those in the West. They really couldn't give a crap about us. And
Okay, I do have it written down, by the way. These are the things that I wrote, and you'll tell where I stopped at. They do give a crap about us. It's unfortunate because the ones they're pleasing are people who don't care, like, about storytelling as much as they're looking for hype moments and aura, flashy scenes, that kind of thing. This actually did take me back a little bit. Man, we really are here almost 10 years later, and it seems nothing's changed. But anyways, the West that they're going to be speaking about is, I'm hoping it's going to be old school fans of things. And if it's not old school fans of anime, it's the, like, you know, the ones like me. We started like watching part 1 and part 5 of Naruto on YouTube, and then finding the torrents of everything else later. You know, we're the ones that purchase things from overseas, not the ones that are here. And we most certainly back in the day didn't complain about representation.
And part of the West's fandomhood is trying to bridge that gap. Pirating material reserved only for the Japanese, buying merch while spamming different yen to USD conversion sites, and obviously showing love through fan art conventions, the works.
So, weebs have always gathered things. They've always, we'll use the word pirate things. We've always pirated things since they came over on a fucking boat. That's the funny part about all of this. The boat that carried all those VHS tapes back in the early days, like I'm talking like 80s and 90s, like they appreciate the art form. Those are the people that you're trying to talk to. I think it's fair to say that when you enjoy something, you want to share it with people that you know, friends, family, romantic partners. However, those circles were much smaller then. Anime's gone mainstream, as you can tell. And with that, it's reaching the normies who stereotypically would think you're weird for engaging with it. Now it's a part of everyday life for like sports teams and politics, if you can believe it.
This is true dedication, knowing there's a line in the sand when it comes to regional consumption and appreciating everything about the art that we can tangibly interact with. I say tangibly for a reason. We can't appreciate aspects about a series that aren't there. That would be ridiculous.
This is kind of what he's telling you in this entire video, is this part right here. Rewind that, please.
We can't appreciate aspects about a series that aren't there. That would be ridiculous. But we try. We try really hard.
Yeah, who's we in this? Like, I see fun and I enjoy fun. I'm not a consumer. That's just silly. Like, if I see something that I like or something that I don't like, I can judge based off of that. It's one of those things of you know, kind of seeing that something might be shit, and then you're like, yeah, I don't want to watch that. It looks like shit. And then people get mad at you for saying that it looks like shit. That's where we are with this. So there's no we in any of this, actually. And the edgy is here, my guy. What the? Oh, you can't really see it. No! I bugged it. It's broken.
Help!
Well, one day I'll be a good streamer. One day. Wait, where is it? Where is even this? Oh, it's right here. You can't see it, and you won't be able to see it. It's just edgy. It's just the guy. Oh man, this is like way buried in there. Anyways, you missed the thing. But anyways, you can chat with me on either chat, whichever one works, to be honest with you.
We dive into symbolism, pick apart the politics.
We dive into symbolism. You're going to find out what we're going to talk about in this video.
Insert meaning into what may otherwise be straightforward popcorn or children's media. And while there's nothing wrong with this at first glance, because picking apart a series you love is just kind of par for the course.
You're an anti-tuber. That's what you do. Like, for the last decade plus, your ilk have engaged with media this way, and your fart huffing tendencies. Anime doesn't deserve people like anti-tubers because it cycles, like, it's starting with, I like this, to, this relates to the real world, to, this has to be about the real world. And then it goes to, I need to find other things like it. So now everything has to be analyzed at such an annoying degree. Don't worry, Time Worm. I love you. Time Worn. Wow, I said worm. 100% homo. I don't care. Because you're here right now. In the now. But yeah, this is what we are now. We're looking at this guy talk about himself in the third person as though this doesn't include him.
There is a question that does need to be answered when participating in activities like this.
There's nothing to participate in. Now, I know what other people are going to say. Like, we have criticisms and it's important to be critical of things. And to that I say, I agree. What I don't agree with is pretending to know more than the average viewer. This video is attempting to attempting to pretend to know more than you. That's what all of this is.
Do these stories even deserve it?
Yeah, the anime doesn't deserve anti-tubers. I think we all know that.
We're, what the kids call LARPers.
What? We're not LARPers. Get the fuck out of here. I would skip over this, but this entire video has to be dissected in such a way. No one's a LARPer.
Plain and simple. We are uplifting our own supposed knowledge of culture upon belief systems we can never possibly entirely understand.
Oh, so he's the LARPer. I got it now. They're the LARPer.
We are trying to assess the story's inner workings by stepping into the shoes of whoever might be on the other side.
Oh, this is exhausting already. We're not even to the worst part of the video.
But for what? While this is a valid expression of love, it's also a sign of delusion. Delulu, even. I would know. Let's put aside how people act towards others who may not agree with their assessments about a certain piece of media. My focus is on the material being microscoped.
There's a long diatribe here, and I'm gonna let it all the way play, but just to let you know, this video is predicated off of the basis that we, as a collective, need to discuss topics found in anime for some reason, and those discussions don't happen, which is very ironic because the comments are turned off. Look at the comments right here. Yeah, they're not looking very on to me. We have to discuss these things, except you can't discuss them. Fucking idiot. Stupid ass.
Because, in my opinion, looking deeper into something reasons that the something in question warrants it.
Okay, this is the diatribe. I'll explain it afterwards.
But again, in my opinion, 9 times out of 10, that something never does. That something is usually void of anything that would depict a well-put together story. That something is often conservative, bigoted, or just generally harmful to certain groups of people. People that we know certain groups of Easterners have never had the best history with.
Hell!
Okay, so to add on to this, how would Easterners not know about these issues that affect other people? There's a plethora of examples. I'm sure they're going to talk about, but you know, I want them to explain it. This is their video after all. I shouldn't have to look up something. I shouldn't have to do homework in your video for me to figure out what you're talking about. Put it in the video. It's 36 minutes long any damn way.
That something is often so caught up in being an imitation or a love letter that in trying to recreate what made it so special, it trips on itself. Because stripped of all of its temperaments, spectacle, wiki summaries, it is an imperfect call to action for human betterment and a study into why betterment may sometimes be unattainable. That something, simply put, could never attain the heights it did because of the enormous amounts of plot failings and inconsiderate treatment of characters. Even though that something very clearly wants to. Sorry, I'm playing the pronoun game.
You definitely are, because in your pronouns here in the description, not happening. Anyways, so allow me to unravel what they just said, and I'm going to quote it. This is how I thought of it. I like examining stories closely, but when I do, I usually find that they aren't as deep or well written as fans claim they are. Often, they're politically questionable, contain bigoted ideas, or treat certain groups poorly. Sometimes they're so obsessed with copying or paying homage to something else that they fail to understand what made the original work effective. At its core, this work is trying to be a story about improving humanity and exploring why that improvement can be difficult or impossible. However, despite those ambitions, it never reaches the greatness people attribute to it, and because it suffers from major plot developments and poor treatment of its characters. Now, if you don't understand what any of that means, it basically amounts to they're looking for a deeper meaning in something that doesn't exist. And to spoil a little bit of this video up until the 8-minute mark, they watched Evangelion and everybody told them what they liked about Evangelion, and they went looking for it, couldn't find it, and said, this show's a little racist, isn't it?
I keep saying it, but what is it?
This show's racist, and they don't know how to treat their characters. And it's not just Evangelion either. It's not just this show. It's every show that they're going to bring up in this video. So I hope you're ready for a long one. That's why I brought me a Red Bull. So that way I can truly enjoy this great video. Yeah, they shouldn't have that. You know, this isn't in the thing that I wrote originally, but I will tell you right now, dearest viewer at home, these channels that I see showing up talking about anime literally in the wrong way, they do this thing where they are out for the clout chase. Listen, I've been stagnated for a long time. In fact, I'm probably losing subs right now. And that's quite all right. But this right here, pimp, you're just rage baiting. No one believes you. Posted on 420, by the way.
Can I ask something?
Get the fuck out. No.
Oh. What the hell is Evangelion about?
Oh boy, we're gonna... Okay, you know what? I'm not gonna skip it.
No, really. Call me a normie all you want. I am. But Gainax and their offshoot Studio Trigger have been a mainstay in my anime top 10 ever since
Anime top 10 is crazy. Can you guys just like watch something like normal people?
I first got into the medium. And with their first real hit celebrating its 30th anniversary, you would think this would be an easy question to answer at this point. But because of Ava's vast cast and crowded messaging...
Vast cast? There's like fucking 10 people in the whole goddamn show. What are you talking about? The vast cast. There's 10 people, of course. Why would I know that?
What Evangelion means is gonna depend on the person. I'm serious. What connects with you? And there are some takeaways from Ava that are a bit better than others.
Bro, Evangelion is about mechs. That's it. Crazy shit happens, but it's about mechs. We're not falling into the trap of it being much more than that. There's no reason to fall into this fucking trap of, well, what does Evangelion mean to you? Point the fucking microphone at people.
Like, for example, if you like Ava because simply it's just a good action-packed mecha anime, I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying that maybe you might be a little too Michael Bay-pilled.
Michael Bay-pilled is fucking cringe. Sorry, I have a clip for that. Where is it at? I have to find it.
Kill yourself.
Okay, so he's essentially saying that you're wrong. You're not enjoying things the right way. And I would dare to argue that Evangelion is about people doing people things. The situations of human nature are just that. Like, take away the robots and you can focus in on the people, since that's what any tubers told me to do before. They told me. You probably met someone who's gone through like a messy divorce, or met people like you, or people you like and they end up ultimately hating you. Like an ex that goes back to their ex. I'm sure you've probably seen those. Again, just people doing people things. But the irreparable damage of saying Michael Bay pill just kind of pissed me off, and I don't know how I'm going to recover from it.
Which is fine. I like some of the Transformers movies, but what the f do they know about the human condition? Look,
I don't know, man. People are humans and they watch shit. Oh my god.
Look, I just think Ava is about so much more than the action, and
guys, it has a deeper meaning. And you might be a little stupid if you don't see the deeper meaning.
to be honest, I think its more action-focused arcs are when Ava is at its weakest narratively.
Oh my god.
But whatever, right? Who cares if you're watching Neon Genesis Evangelion for the raw attacks? If you think it's cool, then it's fine, right? Yeah. But art is a cycle. People whose only takeaway was Ava's more meat-headed aspects are now writing battle manga.
Are the battle manga good per se, or are we just dancing around it?
Kids that watched End of Ava and were traumatized by the planet tumbling down are now just inserting Third Impact-esque events into their stories with no regard for what made the Third Impact work in the first place.
Do you know what made the Third Impact good in the first place? I guarantee you. I guarantee you a crisp $5 bill. This guy cannot tell you.
Like, I hope I'm not being a dick by saying you can't
He is.
just put a giant you creature into outer space.
Why can't you? You know what? Why can't you just put a giant fuck you creature in outer space? Who gives a shit? It's your story. You know, there was a video that I watched a long time ago, and I think it might have been one of these critic reviewers, and they said something like, your story could be as simple as a boy that lost a ball, as we're looking at this pause frame right here. But it could be as simple as a boy trying to look for the ball that he lost. You have a story and the setup and the conclusion. Obviously, the boy finds his ball at the end, but it's what's in it that makes it worth it. Like, you have to write a good story for this boy to find his ball. That's all this is. If you don't like Ava, then that's fine. Again, people will do things like this and then tell you that you're the idiot. Sorry, guys, I enjoyed it the wrong way, according to Eli was here.
To signify the impending doom of the human race and expect it to be as meaningful as what Ava tried to do. As usual, the only battle manga that I've read to come close was Fullmetal Alchemist, where a pseudo-man tries to become a pseudo-god.
He doesn't... I would say that you didn't read it, but I know you watched it, and I know where I'm going to go with this entire thing, and it's not worth it. This dude has fucking no whimsy in his heart, this Grinch-ass motherfucker.
Outside of shonen, I think
dude.
of Kaneki turning into a giant bug because literally in his head, what else is he supposed to be? And that aspect of Ava influence in the West hasn't escaped me.
Hey, talk about the Akira... Talk about the Akira bike slide. You know, that's referenced a lot too, not just Evangelion shit.
I'm sure Homestuck and its many sons have like 50 third impacts.
Okay, I'm skipping.
Where
I don't care.
And this for a reason. You see, despite my Fire Force video having come out recently,
I don't care.
But doesn't it say enough that Fire Force's rendition of the third impact was so soulless and half-baked that I literally just forgot it? In my opinion,
Man, I don't care. I just do not care about whatever he's talking about. By the way, you're not missing anything from this other than he's complaining about the third impact. Says nothing of value. I'm going to go ahead and spoil that for you because we're going to get to the meat and potatoes of this video. The reason why this is a bad video.
Become a comic artist myself, writing the third impact.
Wait, what? Okay.
POV, me wanting to become a comic artist myself, writing the third impact into my series. I mean, what else do you want from me? It was cool.
Oh, by the way, he used the Kanye West. We're not going to get into that. Anyways. Here's the part. If you guys want to know the part of the video that's really bad, strap it in.
Okay, so Ava isn't about its action set pieces. Maybe it's about the symbolism.
That's the part. You hear that, chat? That's the part right there. That's the part of this video. I don't care who you are, what you believe in, but you will listen to me when I say this. This video, when they were making it, it was always an attack video. It's this part right here. Just listen again, 10 seconds. Just hold it.
Okay, so Ava isn't about its action set pieces. Maybe it's about the symbolism.
Maybe it's about the grappleism. Bro, yeah. Again, people gave them a list of things that they liked about Ava. He probably asked a pool of, we'll just say 20 people. He probably went on Reddit. He went on Reddit or something and said, guys, what do you like about Evangelion? And then they all said, I like the symbolism. I like the action scenes. And more than one person said the action scenes. And then more than one person said symbolism. Great. Run up this video. And here we are. I hope you're ready for the absolute most insane shit you've ever heard.
I did allude to the fact that there was more going on under the surface.
There wasn't more going on under the surface. This is just an excuse to be really fucking annoying. And I'm not going to bring up anything on stream because it doesn't matter. Like in the grand scheme of this, it doesn't matter.
Then don't worry, I'll keep this part short since it's a topic I always come back to.
No, it's not.
This is a very interesting conversation for me because usually I'm one of the biggest proponents of the author didn't think of that. But as mentioned before, that's because websites like X, Reddit, TikTok...
Hold on. One more time?
...of that. But as mentioned before, that's because websites like X, Reddit, TikTok love to prescribe subtext to stories that don't even do the footwork necessary of giving that subtext meaning, aside from just alluding to deeper questions, thinking, and imagery. I use this term a lot, but it's set dressing. However, Ava, in my opinion, does have actual writing that makes the subtext more than just allusions to something that's somewhat fake deep. But,
What is fake deep? You know, things don't have to be that deep. Evangelion is really not that deep. In fact, there was a video that I was going to make, and it was going to be about this. And there was another one about a post that I put out on x.com, formerly Twitter. And the post was essentially from Reddit, of all places. And one of the things that this person said was, I watched all of Evangelion, and I just don't know anything to happen to stuff, Goop. and they were scrounging around for answers to their most burning questions, when it all really comes down to this person watched something, didn't understand it, sought a second opinion instead of maybe rewatching it again or looking at like a wiki page. Again, these things are readily available, but it doesn't matter. But here we are now. Okay, fine. We'll just say that the wiki pages are wrong. We'll say that maybe asking someone else's opinion is a little bit better. So why the fuck are we here at this video?
The author doesn't seem to agree with that. Hideaki Anno, one of many behind Ava's conception, said pretty much plainly that the symbolism of the story was only there because he thought it looked cool.
Hey, that's called having whimsy, son. You'll learn it one day.
There's not much that can be gleaned about Ava with its symbolism because, by authorial intent, that symbolism is meaningless. So, 1. He also said that episodes 25 and 26 would have been a sufficient ending for the series, even without the support of the albeit at times purposeful fanficky nature of End of Ava.
I thought it was something way different, but, you know, doesn't matter. I'm not going to get into it. I think you guys might already know the answer. You'll know it before me anyways. I'm just an old boomer.
Sometimes us creatives aren't experts on our own work. I say that
What? Oh, hang on. We got to go back.
End of Ava. Sometimes us creatives aren't experts on our own work.
You know, the story is only as intelligent, or the characters are only as intelligent as you are, the writer. Thought you might want to know that. Isn't Ava basically that depression sucks to have, and that people can use their trauma to do awful things regardless? Listen, we got a whole video to go through, and you're gonna find out why near the end of this you may not want to cling to that.
I say that because, in my opinion, intentional or not, the Abrahamic nods the series uses actually uproots the themes of the story. I mean, there's the idea of rebirth, ontological paradise, the plot revolves around children of destiny being pillars of humanity's salvation. Pretty
Hey, you know that we had games like Halo come out after this, right?
sure half the imagery came out of the Book of Revelation. The idea of sin and how it hurts relationships. I mean, there's a motif of characters literally calling for a savior. Ava's symbolism isn't like
Okay, I can't kind of listen to this dude talk about this too long, but can we just go ahead and agree that like all of this is just alien shit? Like Evangelion is not about anything. I can't say that way. It's not about anything really biblical. Like these aren't forces of God that they're fighting. They're just aliens. All this shit is aliens. It's alien shit. I think anybody with like actually 2 brain cells can figure that one out. It's like, oh yeah, they're fighting aliens. They just call them angels. Oh, that makes sense. The whole world gets turned into goop. That means that the aliens that are much stronger turned everybody into goop. It's just alien shit. I don't know. This isn't that deep. It's like the symbolism's cool because it's like, oh yeah, I get it. It's like Full Metal Alchemist. It's like, yeah, all these things are referenced from alchemy, but at the end of the day, it's just like a little fun show. It's a fun show that I get to watch Edward Elric and Roy Mustang fight each other a bunch, especially in the games. You guys played those? We were robbed by Square Enix. If you like Square Enix, I'm sorry. This is a Square Enix hate stream.
faceted, but it's definitely there for those who want to enrich their experience. Now, does this make Ava good? Hell no. It's merely a cherry on top to a story.
You know what? That's who I really need to get on here is Eleanor Bat. Eleanor knows a lot about this stuff. Yeah, he just said it looked cool. So that's like what we use. We just like, yeah, it looks great. What was that show? Recreators? I'm sure there's symbolism in that too. But Recreators is fucking goated. You guys ever seen that either? Damn. I gotta watch more anime.
Story that already gave its themes time to develop beyond just the subtext. After all, why would anyone dive deeper into a story that doesn't do the bare minimum of giving its audience a reason to?
You don't have to. It's right there. Okay, I hate this take the most. This is the take I hate the most.
Story that already gave its themes time to develop beyond just the subtext. After all, why would anyone dive deeper into a story that doesn't do the bare minimum of giving its audience a reason to?
Because people are expecting anime, or specifically Evangelion, to be like ocean deep. full of little nods here and there, things like that. I don't think it matters, honestly. It's kind of like the Deadpool thing. You guys have seen Marvel Tokon Battle come out. Deadpool is nothing but a reference machine. He references a lot of stuff that people are like, oh, that's cool. They didn't really think anything of it. They're like, oh, that's cool. When we see references on Evangelion or almost any anime that we watch, we're just like, oh, I get it. What was that cat show? The chain smoking cat lady? Like, there's symbolism in all that shit because it's all referenced from movies, from media. And we're just like, oh, that's cool. Wait, there was that scene? This is what Eli was here wanting me to do. Oh, that scene is from a movie that talks about let me go through my notes. Racism. Get a fucking life, bro.
Whether it be Fire Force wearing the skin of religious imagery, even though it demeans the very
Bro, there's so much. I'm not gonna get into it. You know what? Let's just keep watching.
concept of religion and diverts.
Does he know that that's what's in? I'm not pulling up Fire Force, but you just have to trust me, bro, on this one.
To Soul Eater nostalgia bait to dodge some of its deeper questions, AOT fitting the structure of a lot of philosophies revolving around freedom, while not letting us be acquainted with the freedom its characters have learned to be desperate for during the 4-year time skip, while also ensuring its cycle of war will make freedom inaccessible to later generations anyway.
Bro, it's not that deep. All of the shit that we're talking about in this video, you're gonna hear me say it's not that deep a whole bunch. That's why I chose the thumbnail that I chose today. Which I had to go and find right here, buddy. This is it. I got it right here. Well, I don't get it. Is it political? What's the message in this? That's the real reaction. That's why I said this thumbnail makes sense. That's why this makes sense, because this dude's looking for something that doesn't exist in a show where it doesn't need to exist. Yeah, Soul Eater nostalgia bait, excuse you. Yeah, don't worry. We get real deep into the trenches here with this one.
A lot of animanga do not have the capacity to be as profound as I think Eva is.
They don't have to be. Why does everything... You know what? I'll tell you later.
Or even
I'm
their
pausing a
own
lot.
influences, because they either make no time for developing that deepness, or the story is such a mess that its own deepness contradicts itself or becomes alienating.
Okay, let's just stop right there, buddy. Attack on Titan was bad at the end. Not at the beginning. The beginning, I'll be the first to admit, I watched the first couple of episodes, like maybe up to like 5 or 6, and I was like, oh, damn, this is actually pretty good. I was like the Eminem meme. Damn, that's pretty good. But I got one thing to say, and that's this one thing to say. I recognized when I didn't like it. And you know what I did instead of making a video? I stopped watching it. Instead, what I did was I went about my merry day. Attack on Titan was good at the beginning. I was like, this is peak cinema. I like it. Now, I bowed out early. And unfortunately for you that might have stuck around for the entire ride, Homeboy turns into a fucking bird. Let that sink in. It's symbolism, bro.
Even still, like I said, by Anno's own admission, Eva is not about its symbolism.
Yeah, but the people like the symbolism. Just because Anno didn't say that it had no symbolism or lack thereof, doesn't mean that people can't enjoy the symbolism. Again, he just said it looked cool. I'd be like, damn, this shit's kind of fire. There's people with probably this background right now on their computer.
Jesus, I'm never gonna get to the bottom of this series, am I?
You won't get to the bottom of a lot of things.
When it comes to Eva clones in the modern day, they say nothing has come close as Chainsaw Man.
Get in the ring, man. Get in the ring, man. Get in the ring, man.
We're not doing this.
And they're right, in all of the wrong ways.
Oh. This video is actually torture. All right.
When I talk about people who have interpreted the series somewhat incorrectly,
I almost spit out my fucking Red Bull, you piece of shit. What the fuck do you mean? What?
they say nothing has come close as Chainsaw Man. And they're right, in all of the wrong ways. When I talk about people who have interpreted the series somewhat incorrectly, Tatsuki Fujimoto is... Look,
Hell!
I'm not sweeping for any of these shows. I'm going to go ahead and let you know straight up as a matter of fact. NECRO 13 today, August 8th, 2026 at 1:37 p.m. I am not going to allow this to be said by me. I'm not sweeping for any of these shows. However, we're not doing this. We're not slandering Chainsaw Man this way. I refuse to let that happen.
I believe Fujimoto is smarter, more creative, and more intuitive than the average shonen battle mangaka. So he was able to pick up on more things than just the cool fights or the darker tone, but at the end of the day, he is still a shonen battle mangaka.
What the fuck is that? Derogatory? Excuse me?
One that up to this point has been hell-bent on subverting or escaping shonen battle conventions that have worked for his contemporaries.
Yeah, it's called trying something new. Weebs wouldn't know anything about that. Sorry, I'm being negative today. But like you're a shonen weebs, the shonen tards, probably this lovely gentleman here in this video, probably want something like that. Now, I'm going to say that there's probably two sides to this individual. One is the one side that loves their shonen slop and can't see anything better than that. And the other side is I need to criticize and critique every little thing that I encounter because it could have a deeper meaning. And so now we get to rail on Chainsaw Man. This dude was already not happy with Evangelion. Had to say, we're going to trash 3 shows at once. If you exclude Fire Force from this. And Soul Eater.
Which, as I've always said, would be fine if you replaced it with creative choices that would lend itself to a good story. Lend itself to something truly unique and worthy of being above the typical baby shonen so many of Chainsaw Man's fans snarl at.
Whoa, whoa. Hang on there, champ. I know this is a slander video because you're slandering everybody else, but let's hear that one more time.
That would lend itself to a good story. Lend itself to something truly unique and worthy of being above the typical baby shonen so many of Chainsaw Man's fans snarl at. And in the end, I just don't think that it did. In which case, maybe Fujimoto would have been better off just copying Togashi, Toriyama, or Kubo.
I'm going to be real with you. I have never seen Chainsaw Man, but I can probably guarantee with a certain level of confidence that if Chainsaw Man were like any of those other ones that he just said, especially like Bleach, it would never work. I don't know. Maybe because history has proven that we're just here and we're watching it. I don't know, man. It sounds like it's made up to me.
Chainsaw Man's ending takes place in an alternate reality, one where the trauma suffered throughout the series, or the characters' pillars of being, are out of the picture, and the characters can finally live better lives. Kind of like, say, episode 26 of Evangelion, even the rebuilds afterwards. I mean, in episode 26, there is an alternate reality where the kids aren't fighting mechs, but the troubles of school life. Their only impending doom is a bad grade, and the self-serious introspection is replaced with them fulfilling their classic anime archetypes.
Okay, the joke went over this dude's head. Like the whole, like, I'm not going back and looking at episode 26 of Evangelion, but just like this dude saw this and said, oh, this is the ending.
A much happier existence. And this is something that Fujimoto tried to emulate.
Like, this dude's really gonna sit here and tell me that these frames, this frame right here, it should be taken very seriously. I'm putting on my very serious hat.
He fails.
Oh, God, we're only halfway through.
Chainsaw Man's ending isn't a manifestation of what life would be like had the characters accepted their right to live, or a life the characters could have had outside of their bestowed cosmic purpose. It is their present, which takes the metaphor and makes it literal, which of course generates even more confusion than Eva did. Someone compared it to the ending of Sonic 06.
Oh yeah, we're gonna skip that. I don't care about Sonic 06, and you don't care about Sonic 06 because if you did, you'd be playing it. So we're skipping all that.
Again, most of the supporting cast. Like, there's genuinely so much. And granted, it's a lot like Ava in that way, where there's a lot of lore that's left on the table, world building left on the table.
Is there? Well, if this is what Tokyo was like, what about the rest of the world? Do they have a defense force and stuff, Goop? Probably not.
Spectacle left on the table, etc. But even so,
Chainsaw Man. The setup. We're really doing this.
yes, episode 26 bypassed a level.
Well, that's the thing. Chainsaw Man isn't super complicated. Not at all. If anything, all of these series that they've talked about in this video are pretty straightforward with what they do. Reminds me of playing Arknight's Enfield. People, I say people, but people were really locked into this one character. I say locked into it, but like they were like, "Yeah, this is like the cool guy." And when you see him, I'm not gonna spoil it for you, except I might. But when you see this one character, you're kind of like, "Oh, he must be the real bad guy." And it turns out he is in fact not the real bad guy. Someone on Reddit says, "What do you think of this guy so far? Do you find him interesting or boring? There's still so much we don't know about him, so judging him right now, whether positive or negative, is difficult." Spoiler alert, this guy kind of gets fucking murdered. Don't worry, I'm gonna leave that up to you to play. But like, well, I kind of already spoiled it anyways. Doesn't matter, but you're gonna play it anyways. You're gonna love it. Enfield's great. Hashtag not an ad.
Things. But it's not like ultra psychological tangents and retrospection were out of left field for the series. Much of the later half of Ava is very much the sacrifice of blood-pumping action for slower, overly dramatic word vomits about how our character thinks and feels.
Yeah, because you've already experienced everything that he's experienced. You know the story all the way up to this point, and now he's essentially reaping what he's been sowing this whole time. Evangelion has some interesting imagery, but the core story explains itself if you pay attention. Yeah, it's almost as if the world's gonna end or something. Yeah, it's almost like the story is just right there in front of you, except we didn't watch that part. Instead, we made a YouTube video shitting on everything.
Episode 25 and 26 were just an extension of that. Chainsaw Man's ending comes out of left field because sure, Fujimoto is known to bake subtlety and emotional sensitivity into his writing, but it's never been as symbolic as the finale was.
Oh my god, these fucking stupid goddamn cuts. You know what makes me angry about the little title card thing that he does? So the title card thing is really cringe to me. I'm sure you could probably tell. But I don't like that they're using Evangelion as like a jumping off point, and they're using the title cards as like an intro to like the chapters that they have, and then they have to say that everything after it sucks. Evangelion did this in this episode, and then other people did this in their shows, and that sucks too. I don't like Evangelion because people told me it was good and stuff. And then we just use that to segue into our next thing.
I really don't want to make assumptions about people from a culture I have no connection with.
Welp. God damn it. Well, you heard that right. Let's run it back.
I really don't want to make assumptions about people from a culture I have no connection with, but Jesus, does it seem like Japanese people have a Stockholm relationship to their work culture.
Hell!
Oh, I didn't make it this far. Oh goodness. Well, geez, I don't know how I can just pick it up from there. Excuse me.
Pochita literally tells Denji that he was happier when he had no money, food, and was damn near dying. Basically, he's saying he was happier when society decided his role for him. Maybe because at least then, Denji didn't overly rely on his Chainsaw Man identity. As if part 2 showed this at all and didn't just cut between a billion subplots instead of letting us see Denji's toxic need for Chainsaw Man start to grow. But even if that was true, is Denji seriously happier without his persona? I just find that hard to believe.
This guy has never lived a life. Let me tell you something about identity and why it relates to this video and why it relates to this person here. The one that we're seeing on the screen, the one right here. The reason why is because identity is key to everything that this video is. He's essentially in this video to talk about identity. Identity of if you are going to be like Evangelion, if you're going to be Chainsaw Man, or any other battle shonen anime. The identity of Eli was here is to make slop. To make slop videos, you can't see it, but to make slop videos and telling you how they feel, but how you should feel. An identity that is based off of I use pronouns. And guess what? Their identity is that they're a fucking coward. And if you can't read it, don't worry. I'm going to zoom in for you. Yeah, y'all doing way too much. This was back when they had this video come out and they got their shit smacked. And they said, yeah, we're not going to have a discussion. There's no discussion to be had because there never was a discussion. It's always, this is my identity. I'm trans. That's great, sweetie. Get in the fucking line. Well, guess what? This whole video is about identity. He can't handle not being Chainsaw Man. Well, what can Shinji be? Shinji's struggling with his own identity. He had a father that wasn't around. His mother was dead and then cloned. Sorry, spoilers. But like, all of this shit's about identity. All of it. I don't know how else to say it.
Denji and hell, even this version of Makima, return to their lives as cogs for the government and devil hunting system in this dream reality.
That's the thing I was going to get to. This whole thing is based off of identity, especially the part where he brings up Pochita. Again, I'm going based off of what's in the video here. Pochita saying that they were unhappy until they weren't stuck in society gangweed. Oh, they love their work culture over in Japan. This is like something that DSP would say. DSP would say this shit. And I don't understand. I don't get it. Okay, man, just say you don't want to work. This is fucking commie shit. I don't have an identity when I'm at work. I'm literally just myself at work. I was going to dox my own name. I'm myself when I'm at work. When I'm online, that's my identity. When I'm in another part of the internet, that'll be my identity there. There's only really NECRO 13, just by the way. But if I'm like anybody else, I only have those two identities to go between. Maybe a third if I'm feeling a little silly one day. But like, you know what I mean? I go to work. I like having money in my pocket. My identity doesn't fucking matter. My identity online still doesn't fucking matter. But guess what? Hang on. Do I have the thing here? This guy? They're looking for an identity. That person right there in the circle.
With seemingly even less relationship to hold on to, as people like Aki and Reze are nowhere to be seen. Not to mention that without his powers, Denji's at least 2 arcs away from death. Let's talk about this ending logistically.
Okay, we're not going to talk about the ending. Sorry if you haven't seen it. We're going to skip past that, and we're going to go to right here.
Denji shouldn't think his only worth comes from piloting a robot. This new timeline is meant to show just how much Denji has affected other people outside of Chainsaw Man, which is why it's not a reset, as those relationships are still intact and the characters can still feel that they happened. That sounds great. If only the story explained that at all in an easily digestible way.
Oh, easily digestible way. I was going to say, the story does explain it, but then when you add in the easily digestible, you can leave that part out. It's cleaner that way. You fucking idiot. Work is an acting job. Yet, even then, I am not motivated to act. Yet I act anyway because I must eat. And because I must eat, I must make money. That shit right there is deep. Yeah, like... That's the thing. When you go to work, you, viewer at home, when you go to work or a family function or a business, we'll just say, a store, you kind of have to act a little bit. You can't be a little weird. You can't be like, this is just like my Japanese anime, am I right? You gotta kind of act like a little normal. I act a little normal. I go to the 7-Eleven. I don't say a goddamn word. I just say, thanks, boss. And that's it. I grab my Red Bull and I dip. I go to the store. They ask me how my day is. It's going. It's just kind of getting started. I love it. We love it here.
and did anything with the idea beyond just a 5-page epilogue inserted right at the height.
It's like 15, but it feels like 5. LOL. Okay, we're skipping.
Fujimoto barely gives himself enough time to not make this finale feel like a bunch of random bullshit going on. And as stated before, it's even worse because Chainsaw Man has never been this subtextual. All of this comes out of nowhere. And even if I were to believe Denji ties his self-worth to his Chainsaw Man persona, and without it he's healthier, it still feels random because frankly, that's not what Denji's main conflict has been up to this point.
What was his main conflict? Also, great freeze frame. What is his identity then, Mr. I know everything because I had to make this video?
You ask, well, what could possibly be his main conflict then? Well,
Oh boy, I'm gonna crash out if I see one more goddamn title card. Oh my god. It's fine. Just don't think about it too hard, chat. The sooner you get this video out of your mind, the better you'll feel. And by the way, this is only one video out of the 2. I don't know if I'm gonna watch the other one today. I don't know how I'm really feeling.
Gainax has a knack for being blissfully horny. Ano
Oh my god. Is this what this part of the video is gonna be?
tells us, how dare we objectify the women in our lives into IRL waifus that exist purely for our own self-gratification. And then the next frame will just be an ass shot of Misato.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay. Oh, you know, I only thought the symbolism part was bad because it kind of lays out this whole slander video. It kind of tells you very upfront that this is a slander video, and then he really drills it into you when it gets to the 8-minute mark, and then we get to this part. I'm so happy we made it to this part. Let's watch this again.
Gainax has a knack for being blissfully horny. Ano tells us, how dare we objectify the women in our lives into IRL waifus that exist purely for our own self-gratification. And then the next frame will just be an ass shot of Misato. Like, let's not act like Gainax and by extension Trigger don't have an algorithm based on generating the most appealing women imaginable.
Why are you objectifying them? Didn't we just have a whole segment for like the past whole 30 seconds talking about how it's bad to objectify women? And now here we are objectifying women? This dude fucking blows.
The staff over there are literally suffering from success.
Yeah? What's the problem here? Don't worry, he's going to tell us.
I say that lovingly, but actually, Gainax's horniness is actually somewhat necessary.
Oh, it's necessary? I can't wait for him to explain. I'm all in. Chips are shoved. The cards are down on the table. What do you got?
And I don't just mean in the way that they're hallmarks of the fan service necessary to get teenage boys to keep watching or to satisfy the teenage boys inside of the staff. Pause.
We're just going to skip a little bit. We don't need to hear that part. We're just going to skip.
The overbearing sexualization
Oh my god.
experience.
Oh my god. No, we're skipping this. I don't care. I do not care. We are skipping it. We're skipping all of this. We're skipping it because it's going to be more slander. It's going to be about this stupid shit. No. God damn it. I don't want to watch this anymore. I want to go home. Someone call my mom and tell her to come pick me up.
Inside of the staff. Pause. But from Ava all the way to Kill la Kill, they've primarily made coming-of-age stories, and as such, they explore puberty and body image. And because these stories are told from the perspective of young adults and teens, that sensuality
Oh, you mean like most anime is, shithead? What?
is exaggerated to match what adolescence feels like. Which
What?
is why when Shinji makes a pleasant visit to Asuka's hospital.
Bro, you can just say he fucking jerked off on homegirl. It's fine. We're in current year 2026. You can just say he fucking busted a load on her. It's degenerate to say it that way.
Hospital room. The vulgarity of the scene is rooted in the overbearing sexualization teenagers experience.
You know, I was gonna say something about this part, but I don't need to. Do you know why I don't need to? because it's all right here in this encompassing scene right here.
The vulgarity of the scene is rooted in the overbearing sexualization teenagers experience.
Teenagers experience this, by the way. So what does Eli is here? Eli was here. What do you experience when you see this? Because again, Evangelion, in my personal opinion, is quite literally a Rorschach test. You could apply that to any anime. You can apply it to any goddamn thing if you wanted to. Anything can be a Rorschach test. But this specifically is because you can either be, what's the word I want to use? You could be excited about seeing the fan service, or you could be disgusted by it, because it all depends on the context. That's what Evangelion really is. It's based on the context.
Both on the receiving and extending side of things, especially given how Enaveva explores Shinji becoming someone like Gendo who objectifies the women around him. We'll get to it later, but Shinji
I hope we really don't.
is very much a critique of otaku and their dormant misogyny.
What the fuck?
Kill yourself.
Get in the ring, man. Get. Get in the ring, man.
All right. I'm ready.
Get to it later, but Shinji is very much a critique of otaku and their dormant misogyny.
It doesn't make it better. Oh my god. This somehow going back to hear it again to try to straight face it through it, it's not happening. This is this one's a rough one. I don't know how to get through this part. I thought the other parts were pretty bad, but this one is just, this one's real chef's kiss right here.
We'll get to it later, but Shinji is very much a critique of otaku and their dormant misogyny. Sex is a very important part of so many cultures and relationships, and the show is merely exploring ways that it can be used as an escape, or
Oh. You know, okay, you know what? I'm not gonna say anything. I'm gonna let him finish.
ways that we use it to hurt each other. The horny has a point in these shows, whether you like it or not. If you took all of these sexual themes and sensual presentation out of
You know what's funny about this right here is I'm gonna be the guy in the corner of the room and I'm gonna say, yeah, I watched Kill la Kill and every other ecchi anime or ones that have a lot of fan service in it. I watch it for the plot. And before you're like, yeah, sure you do, Necro. Allow me to explain. When I play Senran Kagura Estival Versus, my favorite game, by the way. It's not my favorite game, but it's up there. It's like the top, it's in the top 5. I play that game because I like the way that the combat feels. I do not care about who's dressed up as what. And if I could mod it, I'd mod the shit out of it. I'm sure you can. I'm not gonna do it though. But like, I like the way that that game plays. I'm not worried about how the characters look necessarily. I just really care about how they play. When I watch an anime, like, yeah, it probably has TNA all over the place, but that's fine. That's not my main focus. It's, what's the story like? Oh, yeah, this is pretty good. I think I'll keep watching it. In fact, I think that's what all of you should do. I'm sure you already do it anyways.
the story. With ranging exceptions, none of anything would work. I cannot say the same for other battle shonen. Tamaki does not have
Oh god, I hope you're ready for Fire Force slander.
to be molested by the camera in order.
Wait, what? Wait, that wasn't me. That wasn't me. It can't be.
Same for other battle shonen. Tamaki does not have to be molested by the camera in
Yo, he says. Okay, I knew there was something going on here. He censored the word.
same for other battle shonen. Tamaki does not have to be molested
Molested was the word. He censored molested. YouTube, don't ban me.
by the camera in order for the story to work.
Actually, she does. That's like a very important plot point, is that she is essential to have fan service in this show for it to work. I promise you.
In fact, for as seriously as Fire Force wants me to take it, it would be a great service if all of these scenes were Control-Alt-Deleted.
What? 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 What?
But that's the funniest part. Gainax shows are filled with serious, introspective, and interpretive moments.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be 100% of the time, dickhead. It can be literally anything. Like, we get to see our heroes not have a good day. And then maybe at the beginning of the show, they're having the best day ever. They're groping each other, bro. Come on. Stop being obtuse for no reason.
But most of the time, they act on cartoon logic. They embrace their medium and demographic and don't try to be the next religious text. On the other hand, the events of Fire Force are literally the religious text of Soul Eater, and somehow
Hell!
It's almost like they're connected. Wow.
we got fuckers alive on Earth's
Wait, what? Wait, what was that censor for?
literally the religious text of Soul Eater, and somehow we got fuckers alive on Earth's ecosystem who believe Fire Force is better than Kill la Kill and
I'm not gonna say anything about that. I'm gonna let the weebs figure that one out. I really don't care if one's better than the other. They're both shonen slop to me. I could give a fuck less.
that regard.
Speaking of shonen slop, I got Kill la Kill IF for free. Don't know when I'm gonna play it. I've heard some not good things about it, but I've also heard some mid things about it. We'll see where we get.
God, just fucking shit me, man. Stories like Fire Force can talk all this shit about how sex is necessary, horniness should be expressed freely, and
Yes.
if you disagree, then you're either jealous or a prude.
You're saying that. Wait, what? I gotta go back.
Me, man. Stories like Fire Force can talk all this shit about how sex is necessary, horniness should be expressed freely, and if you disagree, then you're either jealous or a prude, but that is simply moving the goalpost.
That's not what was said by Fire Force. I don't think you know what you're talking about.
The bottom line is, you take an act that is intimate, deeply psychological, romantic, or the culmination of years of self-questioning and experimentation, and use it as a way to get a bone from yourself.
You know, I can make a statement right now. You guys hang in there with me? This would be great. Why is it that AniTubers, anytime sex, fan service, ecchi, or hentai come up, whenever these things come up, why do they always have to talk about other people's boners? This is not a Naughty by Nature song. This is not OPP. We're not worried about other people's privates, sir or ma'am. I don't fucking care. Listen to this part.
Act that is intimate, deeply psychological, romantic, or the culmination of years of self-questioning and experimentation, and use it as a way to get a bone from yourself or the audience.
That's the part. Use it to get a boner. Why are we censoring that, by the way? Anyways, the point I'm making is these AniTubers, for lack of a better way of putting it, might be a little stupid. And it's because they always judge people based off of what they choose to interact with in a specific way. In this case, it's fan service and sex. I hate to be that person, but I've been watching a lot of old commercials from the 70s, 80s, 90s, and even some of the early 2000s. And I will tell you, I've seen society shift super hard through all of those eras. But there's one thing that they all have in common, though, is that they all are very open about sexuality. They don't give you sex on TV, but they are open about intimacy. It wasn't something that was strange. For some reason, from 2000, 2010 forward, I have seen nothing about how open we should be sexually. And if we have seen it, it's been the worst kinds. It's not like a simple like I like this person. I like this person. And then they have like a like those I don't know, those diamond commercials. Like I love you so much and then they kiss. Every kiss begins with K, that stuff. Yeah, but you don't have really that anymore. Instead we get twerking. Now, I'm not opposed to twerking. Me personally, I'm not going to twerk, but women that twerk does not offend me. Different strokes by different folks. But they've made sex more raunchy instead of more intimate. And we're seeing a byproduct of that in AniTubers. And some of them are my age, which is the most scary part because sex was just normal. Sex sells is what they used to say. Now sex doesn't sell so much, except it does. That's why we have Fansly booths at Offkai. I might talk about that on Twitch.
And sure, that might also apply to Kill la Kill, but at least it makes that intention obvious and calls attention to how funny it is. Okubo thinks it makes the story deep.
It is not that deep, and I don't think he meant for it to be that deep either. Why are we forcing this?
Fujimoto and Shonen's other sexy antics are just yet another way to bring misery to its characters, and that misery often has no point aside from its own sake. Like, Denji got essayed for half the manga, Asa was about to get essayed, and we literally have the essay devil in our main cast. And for what? For years, Chainsaw Man fans acted like this chapter didn't exist. And
did they? I don't think Chainsaw Mans are even capable of dismissing anything in there. I don't know. Necro, you're being too generous. This man is stupid. They're all stupid. Maybe. I don't know. I don't think... Okay, deep down in my heart of hearts, do I think that AniTubers are stupid? No. I think they can be smart. Broken clocks and whatnot. However, everything that they fucking say on these videos makes me believe otherwise.
Still tried to paint Chainsaw Man as something profoundly feminist and emotionally sensitive.
But don't worry, we're going to talk about feminism soon.
All for it to be nothing but shock value, as Denji's main character arc has nothing to do with his endless need for a sexual outlet, and Asa's character arc doesn't even get resolved! And you know what? What more can you expect? After all, Chainsaw Man's latter half, as previously stated, is an ode to Evangelion's 26th episode. And well, I've been dancing around this, but I need to say this right now. So
bro, there's still like over 10 minutes left in this video. Please spare me.
We can all be on the same page. Episode 26 was fucking ass.
I'm killing this sound clip that I'm gonna play.
Hell!
Because it's just amazing. Very cool.
Yes. Episode 26 of Evangelion is a brilliant character study of our cast, but that is not mutually exclusive from it being an overly melodramatic attempt at a budget remedy that ignores all of the great mystery the series was building up to.
You know that's why 25 and 26 came out the way that they did? It was because of budgets. I'm pretty sure they had blew their entire budget. You can correct me if I'm wrong in the chat or somewhere else. But Anno wasn't happy with the way that the anime ended, which is why we got what we got afterwards. Yeah, there was a whole movie to rectify this because he wasn't happy with the way that the TV run went at the very end. And that's why they made everything else after. Then we got the definitive version without the necessary or unnecessary budget cuts. So this is just fucking stupid to say.
It is the type of experimental writing that may work in isolation, but may not work if you've waited almost 30 episodes for it.
And if anything, this is where he should have been attacking the budget cuts from this. Oh, they didn't have the budget for it. And then he should have talked about the movies and said, oh, well, we got the resolution in the movies, and then criticized the anime for not having it. That would have been fine. But we didn't do that here yet. I say yet, because I'm having hope that maybe, just maybe, we'll have something in there.
It does not work as well for me and many others, and when I say many others, I mean the entire planet of Earth.
Don't lump me in with that.
in the 90s apparently, without the context of End of Eva. And even then, EOE is just more of a bitter retelling of episode 25
A bitter retelling? No fucking way you said that. Let me go back.
of End of Eva. And even then, EOE is just more of a bitter retelling of episode 25 and 26 because people rightfully called out how pretentious Anno was being over this.
No? Okay, man, whatever you say.
That's not an excuse for death threats, by the way.
What?
Anno can both have gone through horrible fandom experiences, which, by the way, I more than understand, while also being wrong.
Okay, listen here. I'm not going to sit here and sweep for any of these people because I don't know them like that. I'm just going to tell you how I have seen these things happen. And when it comes to mangaka that make something and then the ending is ass, I can't help. If there's, we'll make up a number. Let's just say that there's 1 million people that have read and or watched any of these IPs that we're talking about. We'll use Attack on Titan as this example. Attack on Titan was apparently peak for everyone. They were getting tattoos of this shit. They were making that their entire identity. They go to conventions, they cosplay them. I will tell you, I went to Anime Expo this past couple of months. Damn, it was only like literally last month. That's crazy. I do have pictures of it. I might do a whole different stream about that. But anyways, I have seen people worship Attack on Titan. And then when the end came years ago, I have never seen people sweep so goddamn hard for something that they are literally on their own island trying to save. So out of those millions of people, the 1 million people in this hypothetical situation, we'll say 1,000 of those people probably sent the guy, they probably sent him death threats, which is something you should not do. Thank you, Isayama, for 10 years of entertainment were the videos I saw. If you've ever seen Cope, you look up Attack on Titan ending, and you're going to find a bunch of videos either sweeping for it or being extremely critical. And I bet you out of all those videos, I don't think any of those people probably sent them death threats. Death threats get sent to people all the time. There was a VTuber, Essie, if you guys have ever seen it. Essie channel, that lady, she's the sheep lady. But she was talking about the World Cup. Sorry, I don't watch any sports like that anymore. But she was watching the World Cup. And the World Cup came down to a few different teams. And she was rooting for them on Twitter. And every single one that she predicted, they lost. And there only was one instance where she rooted for one team. And they won. But it was because someone with worse luck said, I think this team's going to win. I have worse luck, so maybe that'll counteract it. And it did. There was nothing else after that, and every team after that lost. But when this was all happening, it was a good fun moment. We loved it. The internet loved it. And then what happened was weird people came in, the normies, and they started sending her death threats. In a bunch of different languages, by the way. The internet ruined that. They ruined that good time for us. I put in $9 on one of the bets, maybe 10, and then I came back with 23. I think I was doing pretty okay. I was doing pretty okay.
And by the way,
okay, but that's my point. That like death threats just happen. I'm sorry, they just happen. I don't like that they happen, and I don't think anybody should be threatened with their life, but you know, except for like the weird fringe group of people that are doing bad things to certain people.
that's fine. You don't have to like every creative choice that was made in regards to a story you enjoy. I've been trying to tell you people that for 6
You people, I'll have you know that I am only half African American, sir.
years. I just think it's mind-boggling because at least meatheads try and copy the parts of Eva that people actually liked. Why would you try and copy the parts of Evangelion that historically gave people a lot of whiplash because of a lack of build-up when you obviously have so little concern for build-up yourself? Why would you rush a copy of a rushed ending?
Oh boy, we're not gonna listen to this. So we're gonna like hold that button down. I don't want to hear what that's gonna be in context to.
History is a flat circle, by the way.
Huh?
Just like how the Japanese fandom was outraged in what, 1996, Chainsaw Man fans are outraged today.
Japanese Twitter reacted to the finale last night. Here's what people were actually saying. Chapter 232 dropped. I spent a few hours going through Japanese reactions on social media. Thought some of you might find it interesting. By the way, this is on Reddit, so take with that which you will. The conversation over there is pretty different from what I'm seeing in English. The most shared take, 500k impressions, well, 500k plus. Fujimoto is fundamentally a short form writer. That's all shonen writers, by the way. Part 1 was extraordinary because every arc had a locked concept and they all fed toward Makima as one unified target. That architecture is what made it work. The sharpest criticism. The finale feels calculated, like the thinking was put out a happy ending vibe and people will defend it as better than a bad ending. Another, throw in power in Nayuta at the end, refrain part 1, close in the least controversial way. That's what this was. The most personal read. Seeing this ending, I think Fujimoto was projecting himself onto Denji. He made it as a manga artist, but maybe he was happier when he was struggling with short stories and terrified of cancellation on his first serialization. And the genuinely confused. I can feel the author's intent beyond just couldn't wrap it up and threw it out, but the finale doesn't connect to Pochita, or doesn't connect to what Pochita said either. I honestly don't know what to make of it. Curious what people here think. Does the Japanese reaction match yours, or does it land differently? Edit. If anyone's interested, I don't really care. That's the entire read. That's everything that was said in this post, because he's not going to read it.
And rightfully so, man. Usually when mangaka take inspiration from other manga, they try to
Manga.
mitigate their issues. Bleach is bloated? Well, Demon Slayer ends around chapter 200.
Okay, hang on.
Man, usually when mangaka take inspiration from other manga, they try to mitigate their issues. Bleach is bloated? Well, Demon Slayer ends around chapter 200. Naruto has too many characters? Well, we'll only have 6.
Okay, let's go back, because you guys, probably not you guys, but I criticized Bleach in one of my last videos, and no one liked it. They were like, Necro, why you hate the Bleach? You're doing it because it's the popular thing to do. No. As a person that suffered through a little bit of it being bad, I'll tell you this up front. I watched Bleach when it came to North America. Very first episode. And then when I found out I could just look up stuff, I started looking up everything in Japanese. I bought damn near everything I could of Bleach. I was a Bleach head. I recognized everything. I memorized everything. I was like him. I was that guy. I forgot it all now because I just don't care. But I was deep in the trenches of that shit. And then I got to where the Bount arc began. I watched the Bount arc. I am not happy that I watched the Bount arc. And so then I waited until they got into Hueco Mundo. Okay. Fine. It's great. I even read it. I read that shit. And so when I saw what the anime was doing to me, and they had those filler characters in there from the Bount arc, I said, oh no. We're just doing that now, I guess. And then, as time went on, I think I kind of got over it a little bit, but I stopped engaging with it as much because I have other things I wanted to watch. They had a bunch of different filler arcs that don't really work in the world of Bleach, in my personal opinion. But Kubo had written a lore damn near deep enough that I was like, I understand this. And again, I was in the trenches. I recognized everything. And when they threw out all of this stuff, when they had like, what was it? The ones where the Zanpakuto came to life and they were like all these different interesting looking characters. It was like a huge spit in the face of everything that Kubo had established before, and I think he probably just needed money. I don't know. That's my take on it anyways. I'm probably wrong anyway. Doesn't matter. But I was in there with Bleach. I'm not in there with Bleach anymore. So when people tell me 1,000-Year Blood War is happening, I'm happy for you. I'm not going to watch it though. Thanks. And then I saw that they made some more shit after that. I think they're going to go back to Hell. Isn't Hell going to be like the new place? And it's really interesting to me too. This is a Bleach rant now. But Bleach, to me, stopped being good when they did that shit to the anime. When it came to the manga, I can hang in there and watch it or read it. It's the same arcs over and over again, though. I don't want to see them going to a new location to save someone. Just fucking beat up some people. Can I see some Soul Reapering or something? I don't know. I've gotten to that point. I'm in that age of being a boomer that I really just want to see that now. But anyways, that's not the point. The point is this thing right here.
Rightfully so, man. Usually when mangaka take inspiration from other anime manga, they try to mitigate their issues. Bleach is bloated.
Yeah, this thing right here. Yeah, wasn't that the Zanpato filler arc in reference to Shaman King? I watched a little bit of Shaman King. I tried. My tastes are very terrible. I'm sure, as you can tell. They're not trash taste. No, but I like things in a very specific way. And that way, I couldn't do it.
Well, Demon Slayer ends around chapter 200.
I don't know anything about Demon Slayer, so I'm going to let him have it.
Naruto has too many characters.
He's kind of right. Naruto does have too many characters. I'm not reading through all that. By the way, Kishimoto, bad writer. Most shonen creators are... Wait, did people forget that people hated Bleach even back then when it was popular? Yo, I don't think I saw that much hate for it. And I will say, there was hate for it before I knew about anti-tubers. The hate was already kind of there. The anti-tubers just amplified it. And that's why people have to go back and revisionist history it. Demon Slayer is berserk for babies. It probably is. I don't know. I read through a good bit of Bleach, and I read through a little bit of Naruto. Kishimoto has to be a better writer. When you have a character that can move where his heart is, because that's just how shit works, you're losing me, man. This was like back in like the Xbox 360 days that I remember this happening. No, I remember that time of Bleach slander. The slander's so delicious.
Well, we'll only have 6. The main character's too important in One Piece? Well, let's have him flipping burgers because of themes and such.
Oh, I get what he's going for here. Okay, so if you weren't following along, this whole thing is they're trying to make an amalgamation of a bunch of things that people things that people disliked and putting it into things that people like. That's what this segment is. This is the slander segment again.
So, man. Usually when mangaka take inspiration from other anime manga, they try to mitigate their issues. Bleach is bloated? Well, Demon Slayer ends around chapter 200. Naruto has too many characters? Well, we'll only have 6. The main character's too important in One Piece? Well, let's have him flipping burgers because of themes and such. Also, put some respect on my boy Jay's name. He's the one that...
I don't really care.
So it astounds me that in the replication process, artists will choose not to fix the flaws in their inspirations and repeat their mistakes.
But they're not mistakes. That's the point that this is all supposed to be. The My Hero Academia reference was a meme, by the way. It wasn't canon. I don't know anything about My Hero Academia, so again, you guys are going to know way more than me. I just choose not to watch shonen that much anymore. I'm past that point of caring about tournament arcs and if the bad guy is going to get beat up by the main character. Spoiler alert, they will. But the thing that I'm getting from this part is people take inspiration from the things that they personally liked. Whether or not he thinks that they are mistakes doesn't matter. They made what they wanted to make. And guess what? Gangbusters is what they're selling. What gangbusters are you selling here, Eli?
even though they have the benefit of hindsight in discourses from the general public that tell them what works and what doesn't. But I think that's because, and I've always said this, Fujimoto just got bored of Chainsaw Man.
No? By the way, this isn't the end of all the slander. We got a couple more things of slander to go through.
While others are built to write the same series for long periods of time, others, like Fujimoto, seemingly want the flexibility to go from project to project.
Okay, this is a weird argument because you can just not make the thing that you want to make anymore. And if it ends terribly, I mean, they're not known for writing, they're known for art. Say NECRO only know about certain Sonnen because of memes. That's kind of it, actually. What's that one? I think it's Lazarus. I don't know what show it is. It's the one with like the Ellie Goulding song, Lights. The one where where guys dancing at the end. I just started doing some stuff on the Xbox 360. I've been modding it, and I put all the DLC songs on Dance Central 3, which is what I use for a little cardio. And I saw the dance, and I said, "Oh, it's the anime thing." That's where I get it all from. I get it from memes too, so do not worry.
As seen by his massive amount of original works. Not only that, but when it comes to things that Fujimoto wants to communicate through his art, well, he got most of it out of his system prior to part 2. At least,
you know what's sorry, this is like a weird aside. So you remember Hidamari's sketch? Anyone in the chat? If you remember Hidamari's sketch in chat, can you post a 1? Sorry, it's going to be a little delayed, so I'll wait. And while we're waiting, I'm going to take a sip of this Red Bull. And wait, what clips do I have on here?
No, it's not a funny fucking meme. It's something that could ruin someone's goddamn fucking life. It's Derek!
I don't know. I don't know which ones I have on here.
Now that's fucking based.
Yes.
Oh man, I have a lot of these. Okay. I don't use them that often, so. Okay, so if you remember Hidamari's sketch, you know that they made Madoka Magica? And people would be like, what? How can a show about cute girls just wanting to draw turn into magical girls suffering and they're just dying and getting their heads bit off? Because people like to create more than one thing. I don't know how else to tell you this. People just like making a bunch of shit. I make a bunch of shit every day. That's why I play Battlefield and Rage Quit. It's why I play Overwatch and then my team calls me bad, even though I'm literally mitigating all of the damage that they're taking. I have the most damage and I have the most elims as a tank. And they're just like, you're bad. Rep this tank. Rep Zarya. He's bad. Brother, you don't have any damage. You're a fucking Genji. Get out of here.
at least in my eyes. So when it came time to deliver,
Oh yeah, the thing I was saying is that like people make shit. They make a bunch of different stuff. And maybe he did get tired of Chainsaw Man. He said, yeah, I'm going to write something else. He wanted to write a story about something else. I don't know. It just happens. People don't like where they work. Guess what? They work somewhere else that they enjoy. And if they don't like it there, guess what? They go to a different job. This is the way shit is.
on Chainsaw Man's sequel, he just ran out of things to say, especially because Chainsaw Man isn't very
Oh man, it's just like me. I ran out of things to say anyways. This is 10 years. We're almost 10 years. We're 9 years right now. Almost 10 years of me looking at anti-tubers just do this. I wouldn't even say embarrassing themselves because they're really confident in the lie.
personal, but more of an experiment. So he threw up his hands and said, F it, which is why the ending feels so abrupt. So I repeat what I've been asking these mangaka for 5 years. If you don't have the passion to do these story elements well, then why bother?
Because they're making something they want to make, man. I'm not going to go over it again. Overwatch players demand others to switch off and contribute to the team, but they can't do it themselves. I will show you guys one day me playing Overwatch, not on YouTube. Maybe. I'll play it like in the background. But like these dudes today, like I did everything I could do. I was like, okay, Zarya's not working out for you. Fine, let me use Sigma. That wasn't good enough for them either. I said, well, I don't know what you guys want. Because if I don't have a healer, 2 healers, as I'm like literally taking all the damage and all my bubbles are out as Zarya, and I have to wait 10 whole seconds for them to recharge, you're just going to have to wait, buddy. Because he's like, where's the bubble? Push, run in there, put the bubble and go do something. Like, brother, guess what? I switched it up. Yeah, what mangaka is going to listen to this guy? Hopefully none of them. And I hope that if you're an aspiring mangaka, that you don't listen to him either. Okay, that's the end of this segment. Ah!
Hell!
You're a fucking cringe lord. Kill yourself.
In a video a few months ago, I covered what I like to call the loser epidemic, the phenomenon modern media in general, specifically those of the action
Oh my god, this is going to be fucking cringe. This is about Shinji, by the way.
variety, have towards torturing or belittling their protagonist for the sake of some greater thematic despair.
Wait, what part of this is about Invincible, though? I didn't watch that much Invincible, but I did watch the first season because it was kind of shoved in my face to hang out with friends. But, like, we better not be going with the way that I think we're going to go with this.
Or to garner pity for what is essentially a self-insert. Shinji Ikari is first and foremost a self-pitying hole of codependency.
Again, to retread the same ground that we've already been through, Shinji was neglected as a child. He has what I would call separation anxiety. But his mom was dead. His dad barely paid attention to him, if at all. Cloned his mother. And then said, yeah, I know this is the first time we're talking in like forever, but can you get in this giant goddamn robot and go kill some aliens? I don't know, man. I'd be pretty upset too.
The human embodiment of inaction, floating around from relationship to relationship, hoping that someone, one person, anyone, will give meaning to a life he deems meaningless. And when he doesn't get that, well, he plunges the planet into the Book of Revelation.
Yeah, there's a whole episode introducing it called Hedgehog's Dilemma. He didn't watch it.
However, Shinji is not the archetype for the loser main character.
Okay.
He is nothing more than an audience surrogate and a criticism of otakus as a
He said the thing! He said the thing! Yes! He said the fucking thing!
Yes! Yes! Yes!
your main character. He is nothing more than an audience surrogate and a criticism of otakus as a whole.
My favorite part of the whole video is right there. My favorite part right there. It's right here in the video. See, he didn't use it as a blanket for the entire anime. He used it for Shinji specifically. And you know what? That's fucking based.
Now that's fucking based.
In the systems that create such needs, Shinji is the end
This dude's incredible.
point of the feelings and the suffering of so many Japanese men, at least back then, or at least from my assertions from the meta of Evangelion.
Oh, this dude doesn't know history at all.
And honestly, it's an endpoint any male could identify with, especially in this post-4chan right-wing internet.
Okay. Yep. All right. Okay. Okay, man. All right. You got me. You got me real good this time. Oof. We gotta not listen to that for a second. We gotta take a breather. Oh, that one hurt. That one hurt me real good. So anyways, so chat, how is your weekend going? What's the meme? How is everyone's weekend? What are the oranges for? I just think it's so it's real nice. It's a real nice weekend. Oh, okay. Oof. Okay, I think I'm ready. I think I'm ready to tackle this again.
least back then, or at least from my assertions from the meta of Evangelion. And honestly, it's an endpoint any male could identify with, especially in this post-4chan right-wing internet space.
Post 4chan, what?
Any male could identify with, especially in this post-4chan right-wing internet space. Frozen into an iceberg of self-loathing, waiting for someone else to pull him out of it, feeling self-entitled to that, but not making steps to actually build meaningful relationships that could foster that.
This is insane. This is actually insane. Yeah. How was your weekend? Did you do much? Did you go out? Did you stay home with Gal? Oh my god. This is actually the worst video I think I have seen. And I say that every time I get on a stream. I say it every time. But god damn it, every time I watch a video like this, my mind gets constantly blown how we're still doing this almost 10 years later.
Because the people in his life are not actual people to him.
What?
They are only objects put on this earth to help him. But a person like that only really exists because he's
Yes, the infamous hacker known as 4chan hacked the time. Yes, of course.
been put in the system in a work culture that tells him that he's correct for accepting he's nothing more than a cog in the system.
Okay, I'm not going to get into the show too deep, and I really don't have to get into it that deep. But like anybody that watched this originally when it was like really new, they showed the first 2 episodes on Toonami like during the day before it went to Adult Swim. I remember seeing it. It was like a part of like Big Robot Week or something like that. Man, I am that old. But I watched it then. But then I bought the DVDs. And that was an experience. But anyways, the point I'm getting to is Shinji is, from what I remember, because I haven't seen it in literally almost 20 years, Shinji is trying to work on himself, but he's really bad at it. I think there was a whole segment like, I mustn't run away. Do you guys remember that part? Like, he tries, but he's just not good at it. So he sees other people or hopes that other people will help him. But the whole thing is that the people around him in this cast of characters, they all kind of serve a different purpose. So I don't know. This isn't deep and philosophical. I really don't care. But to say whatever he's saying about, well, everybody can relate to him if they were a part of the post-4chan right-wing internet. Like, are you fucking stupid? People were people don't have to identify with a character to like understand a character. If you catch my drift. I'm sure I've played plenty of games where I play as a female character or a white guy, and I'm like, where's my representation? And as we all learned recently, which I have to send out an apology to Blizzard Entertainment, they were accused wrongly by the state of California and by Jason Schreier for the breast milk theft. He made it all up. These people made it all up. It was a boys' company, and women came in and ruined it. Sorry, women, you ruined it. And so then they started DEIing everything. And I don't ever use DEI in almost anything that I say. But they DEI'd it up. And now we have... How many heroes do we have in Overwatch? I don't know. We have so many characters in it now. But like, a lot of them just check boxes that the DEI people want. And it's fucking stupid. I don't need all of these different characters. In fact, we only have like 4... No, we have like 8 of them in Team Fortress 2. I don't know how many there are. You guys can tell me. But like, we have that many, and only one of them I'm pretty sure is black. And then Pyro just has a mask on the whole time. I don't need to identify with a white person to play them. I don't need to identify with a Japanese schoolboy that has no family. I could just watch media and enjoy. Don't be spreading that.
I say all of that, but come on, let's be for real.
Let's be for real.
Is a loser main character.
But you just said he wasn't. Wait a minute.
And as stated before, he's a self-insert.
No, you said he was not. It was like right around here. Somewhere in this stupid bullshit. I don't fucking care, man.
That struggle exists, and people who vent at Ava for not being a pure escapist fantasy. Chainsaw Man was at one point an earnest coming-of-age story, but at every turn, it's almost as if Fujimoto hated his own characters.
You know, it's kind of weird to say this out loud, but to say that like you're bored of your characters or you don't like your characters that you created is kind of strange. Because you can make those characters suffer. You can kill them if you want. Fujimoto didn't kill them. And if anything, I think it's a kind of poetic thing to say, well, he just didn't like these characters. Well, I mean, yeah, he probably likes that he gets a lot of fucking money from royalties. I'm sure he's not upset about that, if he gets any. But he's probably not upset about that part. He's probably just like, yeah, this thing is out here and people enjoy it, but maybe they're enjoying things in the wrong way. I would have to imagine that's the story.
He'll demean them, violate them, tell them they were better when they were suffering, and use their bodily autonomy as a choke.
I mean, that's fucking base. That's what you should do with your own characters. So you're telling me that Fujimoto is fucking based?
Or worse, he'll just kill them. And none of this is profound.
Why not?
None of this is liberating or progressive. And again, none of this needed to happen, but animanga today are so desperate.
Animanga again. And in fact, you shouldn't even worry about how he's saying Evangelion. You should worry about him saying animanga.
To look deep that they'll do anything to distract from how vapid they actually are, even if that means dehumanizing two characters at the same time for what I can now confidently say was just for shock value. Oh, and don't get me started on Yuji's cog mentality never being put to rest until he's retirement home age. That might be something I might cover in another video. Who
I really hope you don't. I hope that you stop covering videos, actually.
knows? And Fire Force? It's so desperate to use its characters as nothing more than ragdolls that it actively calls you out for thinking it simply does too much and is creepy.
Okay. Yeah, media doesn't need to be profound to be worthwhile. I know it doesn't. That's the thing. Excuse me. It's the problem with anti-tubers is that everything has to be profound to be worthwhile. And if it's something stupid like this, Fire Force, I'm going to sweep for Fire Force in this scene specifically because the whole thing is about the church. Again, Fire Force is the predecessor to Soul Eater. It's the thing that comes before it. And so when they made Fire Force the essential stepping stone to be included in Soul Eater, did I say Soul Reaper? Soul Eater, then that's what this is. Again, they're using nudity or again, sexuality to kind of like show that if you are super uptight, I mean, come on, man. I don't even like Fire Force. I don't even like Soul Eater that much. And I watched Soul Eater almost all the way through. I didn't watch the end of it. And then they made Soul Eater not. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Yeah. Animanga's existed as a term long before this. Remember the old animanga books from the 2000s? Yeah, unfortunately I do. We're using that in current year. Unfortunately. Soul Reaper sounds like a completely different series. I know, I probably said Soul Reaper. Sorry, my brain is like in a million different places because he talks about like 10 different anime in this.
That it actively calls you out for thinking it simply does too much and is creepy. When Evangelion characters suffer,
oh, I hear what you're saying. Okay.
It's to tell a story, to invite projection and say something about why we are so broken and incapable of extending or receiving love. When its son's characters suffer, it's nothing more than something to just jerk themselves off to. Intellectually in Gege's case, but the other two, well, I don't think that needs to be said.
I'm not gonna sit here and lie, like this is a weird part of the video. Difference is any manga and animanga are actually two different things. True. We have yet to get a full adaptation of Soul Eater. That's what I heard. Love Soul Eater and Fire Force, and no, I did not like Soul Eater not. Yeah, I don't think many people did, unfortunately. Yeah, Japanimation. Yo, if he said Japanimation, I'd be pretty fucking hype. I do remember that though. Animanga, might be lost on me a little bit. Japanimation? Oh my god. Skip.
This is fun.
No, this is torture. Fuck you.
It's fun, right? I'm
Oh man.
having fun.
I just can't do it. I can't take this shit no more, man.
I'm done. I'm done. I'm never fucking delete it, man. Get it off my fucking hard drive. Get this fucking trash out of here.
Hell!
Ava isn't perfect. There are some ideas that even in 30 years haven't been conclusively extracted from the series. But because of its characters, the time it takes to truly explore them, the sensitivity it moves between topics, the love it shows for human beings as a whole, and the overly convoluted ways it expresses the pain that we can all empathize with, all of the debates over what Evangelion truly means has always been worth it to me. I can't say the same for these other series. The stories are vague and weightless, the writing seems to insist upon itself,
He pulled that one out of his ass. He insists upon itself, Goop. People just, I don't know, they like something and they want to make their own thing that might have some inspiration from it. Why is this video 36 minutes?
and there's just such a devil-may-care attitude with comments regarding culture, politics, the South, and
No.
life as a concept. And if the author is so careless with his own concept and questions, then why shouldn't I be? Stories like Chainsaw Man, Fire Force, and Jujutsu Kaisen might be fascinating to some, but they are endlessly frustrating for someone like me to talk about.
Yeah, because you're fucking stupid, man. I don't know. Thinking outside the box here, I don't know, man. If you're just looking at all these shows and you're like, they don't do what Evangelion does the right way, then I'm sorry, watch something else. Watch Evangelion again. Watch all of the movies. I don't know, watch the Japan exclusive thing. Play the games. If you love Ava so fucking much, I don't know if he likes Ava that much because he keeps talking about it so negatively because the right-wing 4chan chuds got to it. This dude's so inconsistent with every single view that is so mind-boggling that we're making a video about everything else because he can't decide if he can understand Ava or not.
In JJK's case, the only thing fascinating about it is the way that it is so aspiringly bad, and yet its fandom doesn't seem bothered by it.
Because they're not fucking rubes, man. I'm not going to sit here and sweep for shonen fans, especially Jujutsu Kaisen fans, but they understand their show because they at least watch it. They're not looking for, what are the politics of this character?
In fact, not only are they not bothered by this, they are frankly mind-controlled by its story choices.
Mind-controlled is fucking wild, bro.
It doesn't matter what Gege does, he can abuse the women in the story.
When do they get abused? Didn't that one lady, like, come back to life and she wasn't actually dead?
Give his characters miserable, undeserved endings.
I don't watch it that much to know, but sure.
Can leave plot lines unresolved. He can make the power system as caloric as he possibly can. He can make his story a fanficky stan letter to Kubo and Togashi, and they aren't bothered.
You know what's so weird about hearing... Okay. You know what's weird about hearing about when AniTubers bring up these different creators of anime manga? Is that they always talk about how each of them are influenced by each other, which is not a bad thing. They're on one island, probably within close proximity of each other, and they're making stuff that they like about each other. It'd be like me going up to, I don't know, it'd be like me going up to Mariner here in YouTube chat and be like, bro, did you see that new DSP crash out? Yeah, it's pretty cool, right? You know what? I'm gonna make a video about his crash out. And then if he likes my video, then he takes a little bit of mine. He's like, oh yeah, I like the way that this dude set up his video. I'm gonna do what he does. Something like that. This isn't unheard of. I hate the way that we talk about Togashi and all these other people and how bad they are in poisoning the well of anime.
Will they ever explain why they like the series? Will they ever assert a point derived from their own love and not just a regurgitated talking point or a compliment for a plotline that is nothing more than implied subtext? No, they won't. Because that's not how mind control works. Mind control doesn't give logic. It doesn't give you reasonable arguments for finding affection in something.
Bro, just stop. Just stop it, man.
It doesn't give you anything concrete to latch onto. All it does is tell you to obey, and you do. You destroy friendships, connections. You give grace to an author who, judging by his interviews, doesn't even want it.
Bro, I implore every AniTuber, because I know they're going to see this. I implore every AniTuber, go out, touch some grass. And when people say touch grass, they don't mean to go physically touch fucking grass. What they mean is go talk to people more than your family. Don't talk to your family. Go talk to other people. Learn people. If you talk to people at your job, you shouldn't do this, but if you talk to people at your job, especially like at places like mine, just ask them, why did you want to work here? Where are you from? What did you used to do? You'll get an entire story, and then you could make a story based off of that. You can make a story based off of the people that you met when you were in school. Do you know what this video reads like? A person that never talks to people. And that's fucking based.
Maybe because it's so romantic in its writing. It's so flowery in the way it alludes to depth that people conflate it with actual depth. Maybe because JJK has one of the most beautiful adaptations man could ever make.
Like, yeah, it's kind of like what you said. Like Legend of Zelda was based on Miyamoto farting around in the woods as a kid. Kind of like Pokemon. Pokemon started kind of that same way. Homeboy was kind of around in the woods somewhere, saw bugs and said, we could capture those. And then he made a whole game about it. And now it's the largest media franchise in the entire world. I don't know, man. Eli was here is not making a very good point.
Maybe because it's just that damn cool. And if I like a manga for no other reason than its rawness, then I'm the fool. So I must conjure up anything that explains his otherwise shallow.
You could just say it looks cool. I like JoJo because it's so over the top. I don't think that there's a deep meaning in it. I think that the stuff that happens in it is fucking weird. But that's why it's called JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. The Universal Reset? Brother, do not watch that when you're high. You will start hallucinating.
But is that really it? Is that all there is to it? I've covered this before, but the world has grown more bitter.
No, you have. The world is just fine.
Media literacy is at an all-time low.
Whoa, buddy, this is the part I think I saw.
Covered this before, but the world has grown more bitter. Media literacy is at an all-time low.
Sum up the last 30 minutes for me, can you?
We're more disconnected than we should be, given the opportunities for socialization at our feet.
Socialization. Who have you talked to?
And everyone's on edge. And here comes Jujutsu Kaisen, a series that appeals to all of our monkey brains. But we're
all of our monkey brains? I don't watch it. You should rope for that specifically.
The internet generation before us would have taught us to be more critical, less tolerable, and see what could otherwise be faults even when juxtaposed to appealing presentation. The bottom line is, in this current culture of ours, the incentive is to remove our ability to critically think.
You know what? You're right. You're absolutely right. Let's hear that one more time.
In this current culture of ours, the incentive is to remove our ability to critically think.
Critically? You mean critically think? And also, I think people are probably more critical of things that they consume. You know, a good way to really spruce this up is say that people have a finite amount of time. Time is our most valuable commodity. And somehow, instead of wasting our time watching slop, we should be watching something that it looks like it's fun. When I watched all those old commercials, some of them have like movie trailers in them. And that shit looks kind of fun. We get stuff now and it's depression core. People love Spider-Man Brand New Day. I watched Mahler's video on it. One of the first Mahler videos I've ever seen in my life. And it kind of sums up what I would have seen and thought about if I were watching it. And then I downloaded it to watch it because it's on X, the Everything app. And I said, "Oh yeah, this does track, yeah." And I didn't really need that before. I would have thought it's a good popcorn flick, but I would never have thought of anything critically from it because it doesn't deserve it. It's fucking Spider-Man. Must have been a long week. I think it was like a short video though. Like apparently the meme is that video was going short. Because apparently his videos are like way longer. I don't know. It was something that I listened to more than I watched because it's just like reused clips and stuff. But I think I listened to it on my way home from work the other day.
And that's not to say that people who like JJK are dumb. It's just
that's kind of what you implied.
That, well, at least in my experiences, people who like JJK are mean. They're
what? Huh?
It's just that, well, at least in my experiences, people who like JJK are mean. They're thoughtless. They're hive-minded.
Okay. I'm gonna have to stop you there, bud. I know people that love Jujutsu Kaisen. And I will tell you that there's not a mean bone in their body. Hive-minded? No. They're not hive-minded either. Close. Very close.
And they're willing to treat or talk about their mutual acquaintance, or even in some cases, best friends, in any way that they can, just so that they can complement this series. That,
you know what? I will tell you, there's one scene from Jujutsu Kaisen. I talked about it on stream before. I don't know what stream it was, but I talked about it on stream once. And it was the scene where, I don't remember his name. I don't know any of their names. What's the guy? The pink-haired guy. That guy. It was like the TV room scene. I think I'm gonna look it up right now. I'm looking it up. This thing. I'm not gonna. Well, you know what? I can play it for you. It's just in English, and I'm not gonna listen to it in English. I don't need that ruined for me. This scene right here. Chat, you see this scene right here? I watched this scene. I watched it in a setting that that I have never seen Jujutsu Kaisen before. Yeah, Yuji, that's his name. I don't know any of their names. I should probably know them. But like I watched this scene in a setting in a VC, not knowing anything about it. And when I was explained what this scene was and how peak it was, I said, okay, I'll hang in there with you. I didn't know anything about it. Still don't know anything about it. But I saw like what the manga was supposed to look like, or what it's supposed to look like, what the manga looks like. And then I saw this scene, and apparently it's not supposed to look like this. It's just supposed to be a scene with like a couple of different angles. But because of like how this scene goes down, it's supposed to be this way. You know what? Fuck it. We're listening to it in English. This one.
Listen.
Yeah, this thing. I thought, okay, I can see why the director guy was like, yeah, we're going to make it look like this. There's not going to be any of these different angles. We're not going to do the shaky cam thing. We're just going to do this scene almost like in one take. I said, oh, I get it now. I said, oh, I get it. It's a good scene. Am I brain dead for liking one scene in Jujutsu Kaisen? Maybe.
in reality, has nothing going for it besides the spectacle. But if they admit that, then they have to admit it might have all been for nothing.
I'm not a dub watcher. I watched it in Japanese. It's the only clip I could find on YouTube, unfortunately.
So here I am, almost 10 years deep into JJK's Reign of Terror,
Reign of Terror, emotionally touched because he doesn't understand any of the media that he watches.
He had no civil discourses on the series, no good or productive conversations, no empathy, just good-intentioned criticisms painted as nothing more than bad faith.
You know what you could do? This is a problem with the internet at large, and I'm included in this problem, but it's engaging in an IP, we'll just say an IP, engaging in a franchise or an IP, and then going to the sub-communities of it and engaging with those sub-communities. There's good parts to things like Steven Universe, believe it or not. I believe it. I believe there's good parts in everything, but you either find them from someone showing it to you, or you just so happen to stumble upon it. Yeah, it doesn't make the whole thing good. There's great parts of Bleach. There's some that I would say masterfully done. Unfortunately, it was bad for almost a decade, and then they said, yeah, well, here's the 1,000-year blood war. And it came back. And now they have a new mobile game with new characters. I said, oh, damn. Kubo said, free the booba. And then we got good characters. Yeah, that clip, I saw that clip uploaded to Twitter with the caption, this was well animated because it's real footage of a Mappa employee asking for a break. Yeah, Mappa's out here they're trying to do a whole lot. I'm pretty sure the Mappa people, bless their heart, they're making Dorohedoro. They're trying their best. They're doing their best, man. I've been watching Dorohedoro. It's kind of peak. I'm not going to lie. I was turned on to it from someone else. I started watching it, and guess what? I don't have to engage with the fan base. I only engage with it with one person. And then they could tell me, yeah, don't worry about that. No, this is perfect. I think I was like, oh, well, I hope he gets his head back. And they said, that's going to be the least of his worries. I said, huh? What? I fucked around and I found out.
When, given how the manga and its sequel ended, there was literally no reason at all for me to have faith. Hell, to be honest with you, I still don't really know why people like the series to the extent they do.
I don't know. Why do people like anything? People like Marvel movies, and those are fucking slop. Lovingly.
And, well, in my opinion, that's something that separates a great story like Eva to all of its rather empty counterparts. Eva gives people valuable reasons to want to dig deeper, because of its concrete and palpable storytelling. However, all I've gotten from Jujutsu Kaisen and stories like it is proof that these series do nothing but contribute to the already deep divide I see online. And to me, that's the difference.
What difference? You didn't say anything. Oh, well, I guess
No
that.
one understands me.
You never understood anything.
I thought this was supposed to be a
Yeah, we're gonna skip this. What is Evangelion about?
You misunderstood.
Skipping.
If the characters had substance, if these stories didn't trade character for action set pieces, if these stories weren't such a pale imitation of things that didn't even work in their own context, if it gave time for the fleshed out themes to make something out of the symbolism. But because these stories do none of these things,
Yeah, that's kind of what this is. It's like you wanted to end it over this show.
I can't help but think the characters being as shallow as they are is the icing on the cake as to why these series can never do what Eva did.
Because they're not trying to do what Ava did. You know, that's kind of the big thing here. None of these shows are trying to do what Evangelion did. That's kind of where this is. They're not trying to do what Ava did. They just like Ava, that they wanted to include some elements of it in their franchise. And that's it. They just thought something looked cool, and that was the end of it. You know how it is. People be talking about a bunch of shit. Oh, yeah. And if the internet died, my bad. Don't worry. I'm still going to keep going.
And as such, I can't get any other insight from these stories other than the authors just love trauma porn or love assertions to fake deepness.
What? Also, what the fuck are you talking about, man?
These stories do not delve into the psyche of its characters enough. It wants to, but as I've stated before, it can never truly commit. All you really get is a bunch of sad characters walking around exclaiming why they're sad, but that surface level depression is never even made time for.
It really is. By the way, if the internet was dying, I can't do anything about it. I'm sorry. But yeah, this doesn't make any sense. People are depressed. People in current year are depressed. Imagine portraying current year depression and then saying, there's just a bunch of sad people walking around. Hey, do you know in Japan, like, people were overworked and underpaid? In fact, I think we talked about it on one of the first videos I ever made about Walt Williams and how he loves crunch. Crunch is what gets you all of those collector's editions and things like that. Well, crunch is bad. In fact, it was so bad that it drove this Japanese lady to Minecraft herself. So, you know,
as most of these stories skip the deeper character exploration needed. People clown on Ava's first 14 episodes.
No, they don't. Who does that? Who does this?
And yeah, they're not all bangers, but surely you feel the difference, right? Episodes revolving around characters, time spent with us getting acquainted with their personalities, somewhat proper world building, although again it's never been Ava's strong suit. But why do you think the characters are as iconic as they are? As memeable as they are?
Because people back in my day watched everything that they consumed. And they said, yeah, this is a little goofy. We're going to take that. Even when it comes to Third Impact stuff, it was still like, yeah, this is pretty funny. Everyone turns into green fucking Fanta. Or sorry, green. They turn into orange Fanta. And then they just melt. That's it. That's kind of funny. I don't know. It's a meme. Evangelion is kind of like SpongeBob. It's the SpongeBob of anime.
You know what? Maybe that's what Ava is about. It is a show through and through about real human beings.
Real human beings.
Their flaws, their desires, their dirtiest and most evil thoughts and actions, but also them at their most mundane.
So people doing people things. That thing I said like maybe 2 hours ago. Wait, is he complaining about darkness-induced audience apathy or something? Stop trying to be Evangelion. Why? Because he said so. And also, I don't know what this dude's saying anymore. I think my brain might have turned to fucking orange Fanta.
Surely we're not having the worst day of our lives every single day.
Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man was.
Sometimes we need to go grocery shopping. Sometimes we're just hanging around at school and work.
By the way, like these scenes, funny.
Making memories of good conversations. Sometimes we're just taking a shit. Character
Why use that frame for that?
building to me isn't just blanket statements about how sad we are or vague posting about what it truly means to be human. Character building is allowing us to live and breathe as fictional people do.
Sorry, that wasn't supposed to be funny. Let me run that one back, please.
Human. Character building is allowing us to live and breathe as fictional people do.
Fictional people don't fucking breathe, bro. What are you talking about?
It's about learning how it feels to be inside that character, just like how
weird choice of words.
Shinji wanted to be inside Asuka. So
Oh man, he took you know what, we're just gonna skip that for 5 seconds.
Inspiration from knew this. People dislike Greed Island in the Hunter exams, but without it, we wouldn't know Gon enough to feel for him when Kite Pseudo dies, or when
Wow, spoilers?
Killua's sister needs saving. And Gege Akutami loves Hunter x Hunter. Hell, his butt buddy spent most of his manga around innocuous school exams, just so we can really feel for the students when they entered war. This is not a tall ask by shonen standards. This is not revolutionary, but, you know, maybe it is. But
I hate AniTuber so fucking much, it's unreal.
if being so intimately people-focused is too much of an ask for you, then let me give you a different ask. Stop trying to be Evangelion.
Wow. What a dog shit video. Absolutely peak. Absolutely fucking peak. We did it, chat. Whoa. So thanks for hanging in there. We're not gonna watch the end of it because there's just nothing else to watch. Wow, my life has been changed for the worse. He made me hate AniTubers just that little bit more. And don't worry, this isn't their only videos. Look at this. Jujutsu Kaisen Modulo. Trash. Learning how to say goodbye. A Shonen Jump retrospective. The prequel no one asked for. These sucking videos, man. Jujutsu Kaisen Season 3 is painfully underwritten. This is the state of Anitubers, and there's many more like him. That's the worst and scariest part of it. I'm not even going to. We will be here all year long. Fascism and hypersexuality in the anime community. Oh my god. This is like a gold mine. You could damn near A-log this dude. I'm not gonna do it today though. Maybe another day we'll do another stream. Man. What a goat. What an absolute goat, man. Well, chat. Thanks for showing up. I am ending the stream. There is not much else happening. I don't think much needs to happen anymore. That's just awful. Don't worry, chat. You don't have to suffer for too much longer because I'm ending the stream. Thanks for everybody that's showing up. Like, not Sume on Twitch. Mr. Joe. Donataro. And the edgy Nox the Last. In Advanced Ray. And to the people on YouTube. Like Dark Seraph. Take 22,952. USS Mariner. When did YouTube add this feature? I love that name. Legendary Cryptid. King J 9664. And Wargame 341. And everybody else that was here. And Chillin' and Robustin on level 1. On not level 1. We weren't there. One day we will be. Whoa. I don't know what I'm gonna do here. We gotta raid someone on Twitch and YouTube? Question mark? Fun. You know what? Just for that, I have to go back to that video. It's just fun. Fun stuff, Scoop. I need that clip. Here. One more time. For the people in the back.
This is fun. It's fun, right?
Yeah. It's real fun. It's real fun. Who am I rating? I don't know. I actually don't know. Who's doing a thing that I think that you guys would enjoy? You know what? I know who. If you're on YouTube, you're going to be sent to, I'm going to send you somewhere nice. Somewhere chill. Or redirect you somewhere. I don't know how to do any of these things with the quickness either. My bad. I think you'll have fun at this lady's stream on YouTube. I'm sending you over to Lucina Celeste, who is playing Dark Deception. I had to look at that a little bit. And then on Twitch, I don't know. I didn't think that far ahead. When do I ever? I think I could find you someone. I could find you someone cool. Also, if it's been buffering, I've done my best. But I don't know. What an interesting stream today. I don't think I can ever mentally recover from it. To drop the buffering, yeah. I might just do one. See you lurking in Kino streams, bro. I'm not actually in Kino Casino streams. I don't actually say anything on Kick. I don't go on Kick. I probably should though. Oh. Oh no. Okay, sorry. Never mind. I didn't say anything. I know where I can send you. On Twitch. I have to think about it again. And they better let me too. Otherwise I'm gonna freak out. Oh my god, I'm like super smart and I already had the tab silent. Okay. Everybody have a fun time. I will go grab lunch and I will see you all relatively soon? I don't know. Oh yeah, I do want to watch Mikey No More. I want to watch him. Seems interesting. Have a good weekend. How is your weekend, everyone?